So today I am living the dream somewhat. Samsung has set me up in a hotel in the Sydney CBD to have a look at its new OLED S95F series televisions, the 2025 OLED series, top of the line. Now there's two models in the hotel room for me to check out. One of them is the 83-inch that you see right here, and the other is the 77-inch in the bedroom. Pretty impressive. One of the coolest things about OLED TVs just in general is that they are really, really thin. You can see here, this is an 83-inch TV. It is huge on the diagonal, yet it is thinner than my finger looking at it side on. And the reason they're able to do that is because basically Samsung has taken out all of the different components and stuck it in the box behind the TV. Samsung's One Connect box that you see here is kind of like a PS3. It kind of looks like an old PS3, and it houses all the connections and allows you to more easily hide your cables. The key differentiator of the S95F series over the other Samsung lines is the anti-reflective coating, and this is probably the biggest reason to buy this TV over something else in the market. It is impressive. The room that Samsung set us up with, you can see, is really quite bright. There's open windows, there are lights on behind the TV, above the TV, and when you're looking at dark scenes like the battle scene here in The Dark Knight, you can see the reflections on the surface of the TV are nowhere near as bad as you might find in a more traditional OLED TV. And that makes really a huge amount of difference when you're watching the screen. It's remarkable just how easy it is to watch in all lighting conditions. Now, Samsung introduced this technology last year, and this year it's been upgraded. So if you are looking for something that does offer a viewability in all lighting environments, then this TV is definitely something to consider. The other big improvement this year is the 4K AI processor that Samsung has packed in here. This processor is designed for upscaling your images, making your picture quality look as good as it possibly can on the 4K resolution, no matter what it looks like when you first get started. And look, you can customize the image quality in the traditional way if you're interested, but one of the things that Samsung has done that makes it, a little bit more interesting is made it easier to customize the image quality using AI. So you can set preferences for watching different types of content, for sport, for movies, for TV shows, and depending on what is on the screen, the processor will automatically detect what kind of content it is showing and adjust to your presets. Now, sometimes you can really see the difference, other times you can't. I noticed it was quite striking for sports content, but it's a good balance between having full control and giving AI full control of your image quality. It's not all great. The AI upscaling does a good job with good quality source, but you can see, I don't know if you can see through the recording, but putting on Seinfeld on Netflix, which, from the first season, it wasn't great, but I don't know if you can see that. I'm gonna go in, just look at that lounge. If it creeps into that lounge, the AI is doing its damn hardest to really upscale, to make this picture look as good as it can. The problem is that the source is just not that high a quality. So basically, when you're watching something static, even these bricks, it's just moving. It's like fluctuating as it tries to find images to upscale. It's really quite interesting, and frankly, is distracting from the actual content. Samsung's Smart TV interface, the One UI Tizen operating system, is pretty sleek, pretty easy to use. It's intuitive. It offers a comprehensive collection of smart TV streaming apps. It is as good as it gets on a TV, and Samsung has actually committed to 7 years of updates for its operating system for its TV. Now, I don't know if that's actually something that people want. You don't really want to upgrade your TV interface all that often, but it is pretty solid. And one of the things that I think worth noting here is that it's more than just streaming TV content these days. Samsung has a comprehensive collection of different apps and gaming services like Game Pass and GeForce Now that you can access on the TV directly so that you can play. Now, I only had a few hours to play around with this and I couldn't use either of those directly. There was an Xbox connected to the 77-inch in the bedroom for playing Xbox Series X games with, which was cool. There are also short downloadable games like Tetris, which I thought was cool until I was hit with a full screen ad after I'd connected 5 lines down the track. So as much as there are a plethora of games and features to explore on the Tizen TVs, it's not all fun and games. Sometimes you are the product and you're going to have to watch ads to take advantage of whatever it is that's on offer. That said, the fact that there is an integrated karaoke mode in the TV would make this an immediate success with my teenage daughter. So take what you will from that information. The remote is compact and straightforward to use. It's got a solar panel in the back so it never runs out of batteries. It's nothing fancy and does the job. I'm a little concerned it would be easily lost between the cushions of a couch, but otherwise it's fine. So I've only had about 4.5 hours playing around with these TVs today, which is nowhere near long enough to actually come up with a firm decision. I haven't been able to test everything. I've been chopping and changing between different sources, different content, different types. I've watched some sport, I've watched some movies, some TV shows, just to get a general idea of what things are like. And I have to say, like, that's okay. That's what today is all about. It's in a hotel room. They speed through lots of journalists, fine. But that early impression has left me quite impressed. You know, there's a lot going for these TVs that make them stand out in a really good way compared to some of the other TVs on the market. Probably the biggest concern with this series of TVs is the price tag. And that's not necessarily a concern. It depends on your current position financially, right? For me, it's a concern. I can't afford this thing. I'd love to, but I can't afford it. $11,500 for 83 inches, $9,200 for 77 inches. That's outside my pay grade. But the TV quality itself is right up there, and that's no surprise. Samsung has made really good quality TVs for a number of years. It has traditionally not been on the OLED front, but as years go on, their offering in that space has gotten better and better, and this is probably the best we've seen. The anti-reflective coating is pretty phenomenal and makes it a big difference, particularly in a bright room. If that is something that you need to deal with, then you need to weigh up if you can afford to spend $11,000 plus on an 83-inch TV. If you can, go for it. Enjoy it. It'll be great. If you can't, there are other models to consider. Perhaps smaller, perhaps not OLED, perhaps not with the reflective coating. It's a competitive market out there at the moment, so stay tuned. I'll be looking at as many of these TVs that I can this year.